7:40, welcome back to Acadiana's Morning News, joined on the phone by Carolyn Fayard, candidate for Senate here in our state. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. Doing
well. We are
well.
happy to talk to you and continuing our tradition here of asking questions to the candidates that matter to you on the issues that matter to you leading up to the election. Now, I think we're, Bernie, 28?
No,
we're
so
less
close.
than that. We're like 26. I don't know.
Yeah, 26 days.
26. I figured you would know.
That's awesome.
So I would like to start. We have 5 questions prepared, which you're asking every candidate, and I'd like to start by asking what you would do different in the office as senator than David Vitter right now.
Well, look, I mean, I'm not a career politician, so it's really about just having a new generation of leadership and a new kind of leadership, which will require you to build coalitions and have fresh eyes and good relationships with all colleagues, regardless of party affiliation, in the United States Congress. That's what people are hungry for. They really want to see some results come out of Washington, D.C.
I think the people do want to see results. One of the areas they'd really like to see things happen is here in Louisiana with the oil industry. So many jobs have been lost. It really creates problems, especially for those families where maybe both the husband and the wife were in the oil industry. What is your position on what the oil industry does for Louisiana? And also, what do you think you could bring to the table to help restore jobs in the industry?
I think we've lost something in excess of 27,000 jobs as a result of the recent downturn. And the last time I actually was in Lafayette, I met a good friend from high school, and he said, the first question we ask when we go out is, are you still working? He's a petrochemical engineer, and his family has been affected by the downturn. And there's a ripple effect. It's not just the folks that are directly affected. There's all the indirect support services and people that, make their living as a result of this industry. And Louisiana is an oil and gas state, and we all want clean air and clean water, and we have to do what we can to make sure the industry is protected from, cyclical downturns and overregulation. And I want to be a partner. I want to be a United States senator that the industry, the working people of Louisiana, as well as anybody that cares about the future of our state, can be I can be accessible to them, and we can talk about good common sense things that need to get done, but not an overburdensome regulatory environment where people are afraid to invest. And we have to make sure that things like the Go Mesa dollars, that they come in, they go where they need to go in order to rebuild our coast, but we need to raise the cap on that. We need to, and that's a bill I would drop immediately when I got to the United States Senate, to raise the revenue sharing cap, because it only benefits Louisiana and our industries.
We are on the phone with Carolyn Fayard, Senate candidate. I'd like to move on to, if you are elected, tell us about your first month in office. What is your first order of business?
Well, we have to focus on the flood recovery. 54 of 64 of our parishes, obviously, since 2016 started, because there was flooding in March in North Louisiana, are under significant, disaster recovery phases. And we have that $500 million, it's a little bit less than that, down payment that's going to come our way. But that is going to be a fight that's going to continue long after the next Congress and president is sworn in. And it's going to require, frankly, a fresh set of eyes, good energy, and hopefully intelligent articulation of what we need and why we have to have that money. So that's kind of the priority for me. I also like to talk about things like college affordability, workforce development, equal pay for equal work. But where we find ourselves in Louisiana, it's a combination of trying to get the economy going again, but getting people back into their homes.
One of the other issues is a big issue, really, across the country. We've had our own issues. There have been lots of different things that people have had questions about, and that concerns the issue of race. How do you think race will play a role in how you execute the office, decisions you make, et cetera? How do you view that for yourself?
Well, I think you have to listen to all people. I mean, you have to be a United States Senator for all of Louisiana. And I'm proud of the values that I have. I'm pro-life. I'm a conservative Democrat. I'm for small businesses, and I care about working families. That is everywhere that I go in Louisiana. People are concerned about that. They're also concerned about criminal justice and feeling safe in their communities and respect for law enforcement. And those two things are not mutually exclusive. So what a leader has to do is come up with solutions to problems, but also listen and be engaged with with all aspects of the community. And probably we need to revert back to some models that we know have worked in the past, some de-escalation of techniques, some community policing, and that's going to require a partnership with the federal government because, I was talking to a sheriff down the way from Terrebonne Parish and talking about body cams, and it's one thing to mandate that equipment, but it's another thing to not pay for it. So we have to make sure that we're not stressing our law enforcement and giving them the adequate support and training that they need as well.
And our final question, which we love to ask this of candidates, and so here it is. What is your biggest flaw? What do you characterize as your biggest flaw?
I think that I hold people to high standards, and I've always held myself to that, and I've done it, we try to do with loving in my heart, but I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes that comes out the wrong way because you can be kind of hard on people. But that's just because I want us all to reach our full potential, and I'm a hard worker, and I care deeply about Louisiana. I'm 38 years old. I'm a small business person and a lawyer, and I'm here for the long haul. I mean, this is about making sure Louisiana's got a vision for the future, and we've got to get rid of the same old style of politics, the same old style of people that are just kind of pushing paper and not delivering for the folks on the ground.
All right.
We've been joined by Senate candidate Carolyn Fayard. We appreciate your time. You can find all of our 5 questions interviews at KPEL 965. Thanks for making some time for us this morning.
Thank y'all very much.
All right.
It's 7:47 now at News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Traffic-wise, this morning, we've got a traffic crash southwest of Angeline Thruway at East Kali Saloom Road. That's southwest of Angeline Thruway at East Kali Saloom Road. We have a traffic crash. It's on West Willow this morning between the area of the Thruway and Essie Street. Again, West Willow between the Thruway and Essie Street. We've got a traffic crash on Louisiana Avenue right in front of the Chick-fil-A. That's Louisiana Avenue right in front of the Chick-fil-A. Also have a report of a traffic crash from a little bit earlier, Bonaire Road. That's between Country Village and Wind Creek. That's on Bonaire between Country Village and Wind Creek. Make sure you're buckling up and that you keep it safe out there this morning. Our traffic update brought to you by Compassion International. Every child deserves enough, and that's what you can give to a child in poverty when you sponsor through Compassion International. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.